On this week's nutrition episode, I'm going to share my recipe for Fiesta Meatloaf, a hearty, macro-friendly meal that's a great alternative if you're stuck in a rut with your meal prep or just a midweek dinner. Also, stick around at the end for some bonus content. I'll show you how to make different styles of meatloaf using the same techniques. Also, how you can make a killer green turkey chili using a lot of the same ingredients right here. Roll it. Welcome to the Project You vs. You kitchen. I am Matt. Today we're talking Fiesta Meatloaf. I'm from South Texas, so you know we like it spicy, we like it hot, and I'm always looking for different ways to get out of a nutritional rut. You know, it's always lean protein and vegetables, a little bit of carbs. This is a great way to kind of turn that on its ear and just a little something different for your weeknight meal or your meal prep. Let me get started here. Basically, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take all of these flavor-packed ingredients, blitz them up in the food processor, mix them with our meat with a couple other ingredients, and we've got ourselves a delicious meatloaf. So, let's get rolling. First ingredient is a can of diced green chilies. Got 2 cloves of garlic, just peeled and just mashed up a little bit. Because everything's going in the food processor, we don't need to get too precise with how we slice and dice all these things, because this is going to take care of giving us a nice even texture with all of these ingredients going in the meatloaf. I have 1 chipotle chili with a little bit of the adobo sauce in there, just right out of the can. All right, now we're going to get to our vegetables. First up, we're going to take apart our onion. This is something I really wanted to share with you guys. This is a spherical object on a flat surface, and we're using a sharp object to take it apart. So let me show you a quick, easy way that's very safe that I learned probably 20-something years ago, how to take apart an onion or any really spherical object you're trying to chop. What we want to do is make our little tiger paw, cut off the stem end of the onion. Now we've got a flat surface. Now we're going to cut right down the center. Now we've got our 2 flat surfaces to work with. So I'm going to remove the paper and the first layer of the onion. And discard. All right, so now we have our 2 halves of the onion ready to go. So the quickest way, especially since we're just doing a simple rough chop here, is we're gonna make 2 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice my tiger paw here. That way the contact is with the belly of the knife and you're never gonna get to the business end of the knife. And 1 more cut. This is a dough knife. Makes it a lot easier to transfer these ingredients from the cutting board to the bowl. Just leave that right there on the floor. If you wanted to make a finer dice, say you were making a pico de gallo or something like that, you would put a flat hand here, make a horizontal cut, then make a lot more vertical cuts. So, but in our case, again, just a simple rough chop. Right in the bowl. Jalapenos. Cut off the stem end. Very simple. And half lengthwise. Here's where you've got a decision to make. This membrane and the seeds, that's where a lot of the heat is. I personally like that. If you wanted to get rid of that, kind of chill out that heat a little bit, you notice I'm wearing gloves here. Very simple, just pull those right out. You can discard those or use them as you like. Now we've got it half-wise, we've got our flat surface just like our onion. Tiger paw, cut them up. Again, we're rough chopping because we're going in the food processor. Now, Poblano. Poblano, there's no question you want to get rid of the seeds in the membrane because they're bitter, they don't taste good. So we're gonna chop off the top, pull that out, cut right in half, nice tiger paw. Make sure we get the rest of that membrane out of there. This was not a very good shape for uniformity, but again, tiger paw, flat surface down. Very rough chop. I am going to save these two pieces to make it a little, actually these three pieces to be a little pretty on the top. Now I'm just going to give this one more pass through. Transfer to our bowl. Put a link for this in the description. It's a pretty handy little guy right there. All right, so we've got almost all of our ingredients. What I want to do is we're going to use red enchilada sauce. This is going to top our meatloaf, but for right now I just want to add a little bit of this in here to help this come together a little bit, maybe a ⁻4 cup, it's up to you. The other thing I have is a tablespoon of fajita seasoning. You could use any seasoning you like. You could simply use salt and pepper. Use taco seasoning if that brings you joy, makes you happy. So we're gonna get the top on that food processor, blitz these guys up, and we'll move on to the next step. Be right back. All right, our vegetables are all blitzed up. You'll notice the landscape has changed here a little bit. We've got a couple of options of ways you can cook this in the oven or even your smoker if you wanted to. We've also got the rest of our ingredients. We've got 1/3 cup of Panko breadcrumbs. If you wanted to eliminate the carbs, all you'd have to do is take some white button mushrooms, mix them in with the vegetables in the food processor, and they will soak up and keep some moisture in there as well. Just another option. We've got 1 egg. You could use egg whites if you want. I like the fat in the egg yolk. We've got our garnished poblanos that we set aside. We've also got our enchilada sauce. And we also have a 40 ounce of turkey. So this is 40 ounces of 97% lean ground turkey. This is my favorite ground turkey to use. It's got just enough fat where you get a lot of flavor, you retain moisture, but you're not getting a bunch of fat, and it also doesn't taste like cardboard. To me, it's the perfect compromise. So we are going to put our 40 ounce in the bowl. We're gonna take our vegetable mixture, which smells fantastic, by the way. So a lot of moisture in here, but this is good. You don't want a dry meatloaf. You don't want a super dense meatloaf. That's where the breadcrumbs come in handy. Breadcrumbs. Again, you could mix mushrooms, cremini mushrooms, button mushrooms, anything into your vegetable mixture, and it'll help soak up some of that moisture as well. Our egg's gonna go in the party. We'll set that aside. All right, now we go in. So what we wanna do is just fully combine everything into this mixture, and we'll get after that. The see, I use kind of pull around and fold. To me, that's the best way to combine. We just want to thoroughly combine all these ingredients. But I'm telling you, this smells dynamite. All right, we're fully combined. My hands are all turkified. I'm gonna wash my hands and talk about our options for cooking. Everything is ready to go. Now all we have to do is decide how we're gonna cook these. One item that we have in our kitchen that I really love, it's kind of a one-trick pony, but it's really handy when you're making meatloafs. We make a lot of different styles of meatloafs, so stick around to the end to find out about those. This lifts out, so once it's done cooking, it's extremely simple. It's non-stick. I spray it down with a little cooking spray, little non-stick spray. Cleans up in a snap, super easy to divvy up. Excellent product. I'll put a link in the description. Another option is you could simply cook it in a 1/4 sheet pan with a little foil on there. Just make a little meat pile and cook it in the oven that way. Yet a third option is to cook it in a muffin tin. Just make little 2-ounce portions, pop them right in there. It'll cook a little bit faster and you'll have single servings, so that may be a good option if you're using this for meal prep. I am gonna cook in the meatloaf pan, and I'm gonna set the meatloaf pan on the 1/4 sheet pan, just in case something bubbles over, don't want it to make a mess, smoke up the kitchen, all that good stuff. So that's another tip there. Put a little foil down there, like I said, just in case. So I'm gonna grab my cooking spray, give this a little spritz, and then we'll start transferring over. It's really simple, just give this a little. Now we're gonna transfer our meatloaf into this pan. So our meat mixture just goes right in. Nice and easy, just like that. Just kind of make this even. I don't want to mash it down too hard in here. All right, I'm back with clean hands. So, meatloaf in the meatloaf pan. I'm gonna keep one hand clean this time. So what we're gonna do is make just a little, just push this down on the edges just a little bit so our enchilada sauce doesn't creep over the sides. You could use Chipotle sauce, you could use taco sauce, you could use it pretty much anything here. I like the enchilada sauce just for the flavor. So I'm just gonna drizzle over the top, try and get nice even coverage. You might spill a little bit down off the side, but if you put it on the sheet pan with the foil, easy cleanup later. Now I'm gonna take those 3 pieces of poblano that we reserved on the side. All right, we are ready to go. So I'm gonna set my oven at 365 degrees, and this is gonna go for about an hour to hour and 10 minutes. What we're looking for is an internal temperature of 165 degrees, which brings me to my next point. Meat thermometer. A good digital instant read meat thermometer is, I think it's an essential thing for you to have in your kitchen. This is a middle of the road one. You can spend over $100 on one. You can buy a super cheap one. I tend to go right in the middle most of the times. This one is fantastic. Costs about 50 bucks. I just absolutely love it. Something to think about for your kitchen. Plan on doing a kitchen essentials video soon where I talk about a lot of the things like this, but yeah, 165 degrees in the middle, and we'll be back. So it took about an hour and 15 minutes for the meatloaf to get up to 165 degrees internally. I took it out of the oven, let it rest for a little while. So now we're gonna see the moment of truth, and this is why this meatloaf pan is so handy. You'll see I give it a little jiggle, comes right out. So now what we'll do, run the knife under that, slide it right off. And our handy little meatloaf is done. I'm gonna scoop this over and slice off the end. Beautiful. Nice and moist inside. If you break this down into 8 servings, it comes out to 30 grams of protein, 12 grams of fat, 6 grams of carbs per serving. And like I said along the way as I was making this, there are minor tweaks you can make to tailor it to your eating plan. Again, super simple to make for a meal prep day. I'm gonna enjoy this for dinner tonight with my wife. So, as promised, here's your bonus content. To make meatloaf of a different style using the same technique is so simple. If you wanted to make more of a traditional meatloaf, all you do is swap out the different vegetables in the seasoning. So all you would have to do is use garlic, onion, you could put carrot and green bell pepper, or you could add yellow bell pepper, red bell pepper, whatever flavors you like, and then just use salt and pepper, maybe some oregano, add some Worcestershire sauce. The base is choosing your vegetables, mixing them with the meat, and choosing your seasoning. So simple, so many ways to go. Get creative with it. Try this, tell me if you like it. If you try another variation of this and like it, let me know as well. I'd love to hear that. Get creative in the kitchen, get comfortable cooking. Hopefully some of the techniques that I told you will help you out a little bit if you didn't know them, and if you do know them, maybe it reinforced a little bit. But if I put too much technique in this video and made it a little longer than expected, let me know that too. If you want shorter cooking videos and separate videos for technique, let me know that in the comments as well. I'd be happy to do that. That'd be a lot of fun. One more piece of bonus content that I promised you is chili. It's so simple to make chili out of the initial ingredients that we had. So if you have the jalapeno, the garlic, the onion, the poblano, all of the chipotle, everything that we did, all up to the point where it went into the food processor. Take that, brown the turkey in either a Dutch oven or whatever pot you use to make chili. Set the meat aside after it's browned. Saute that vegetable mash for a few minutes. Add the browned meat back with whatever chili seasonings you typically use. The fajita seasoning is great if you're making a green chili. Then all you have to do is add enough chicken stock to cover, maybe a little bit more. Put the lid on, let it simmer for an hour and a half. Take the lid off, and let it simmer until the sauce thickens up to where you like it. If you like a little thicker chili, you can always make a cornstarch slurry. Entirely up to you. So, hopefully this video was helpful. Probably about 5 or 6 different meals you can make from just this one recipe and these techniques. So as always, if you like what we're doing, you like what we're sharing, please let us know. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also visit projectyouversusyou.com. As always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Again, thanks for watching the video. We'll catch you down the road.